10 things God always does to the narcissists. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever faced someone so absorbed in their own world that they drain the energy out of yours? You know who I'm talking about, the manipulators, the egocentric, the ones who thrive on control, and the ones who seek to make everything about them. But let me tell you something, God sees it all. The universe operates under divine principles, and there are forces at work beyond human comprehension. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 things God always does to narcissists. Because no matter how powerful, charming, or untouchable they might seem, there are lessons they cannot escape. And guess what? When you understand these divine truths, you'll find strength, clarity, and liberation. Are you ready? Let's go. God exposes their truth. The first thing God does is pull back the curtain. Narcissists wear masks, but their lies, manipulations, and fake personas cannot stand forever. Eventually, the truth comes to light. You don't need to fight. Let truth be your ally. God humbles them. Oh, they think they're invincible, don't they? But God has a way of leveling the playing field. Through setbacks, failures, or losses, narcissists are reminded they're not the center of the universe. Pride always comes before the fall. God protects the innocent. You might feel powerless in the moment, but God works behind the scenes to shield those who are hurt by the narcissist. Sometimes protection looks like distance, clarity, or even unexpected allies showing up in your life. God reveals their weaknesses. No one can hide their flaws forever. Narcissists thrive on the illusion of perfection, but their weaknesses are always exposed in time. God reminds them and us that no one is perfect, and that's okay. God holds them accountable. Justice doesn't always come when we expect it, but it always comes. Narcissists are forced to face the consequences of their actions, whether through divine timing or the natural course of life. God breaks their false pride. The narcissist's identity is built on ego and control, but God works in ways that shatter those illusions. They're forced to confront the truth about themselves, whether they like it or not. God teaches through their failure. Their losses aren't random. God uses their failure to send messages to them and to others about humility, accountability, and the need for genuine transformation. God lifts up those they tried to oppress. Here's the beautiful part. While the narcissist tries to push you down, God is lifting you up. Your growth, resilience, and success are a testimony to the fact that no one can hold you back when you're aligned with divine purpose. God redirects their victims. If you've been hurt, listen carefully. God moves you away from toxic people toward a path of healing and purpose. Pain becomes power. Suffering becomes strength. 10. God uses them as a lesson. Every narcissist becomes a living, breathing lesson. To others, they teach the importance of boundaries. To themselves, they show the dangers of unchecked ego. And to us, they remind us to seek alignment with humility, love, and truth. So what does this mean for you? You don't need to carry the weight of fighting a narcissist. You don't need to become like them to win. Focus on your path, live your truth. Align yourself with values of compassion, integrity, and growth, and let God handle the rest. Stand tall, walk boldly, and remember, no matter how strong the storm, God is always working behind the scenes. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you feel, and more powerful than you've ever imagined. Let the narcissist face their lessons, and you, my friend, step fully into your purpose. Truth always prevails. Let me tell you something powerful. Truth is like a river. No matter how many rocks or dams are placed in its path, it finds a way to flow. Narcissists thrive on lies. They build kingdoms on manipulation, pretending to be something they're not. But here's the thing, you cannot hide from truth forever. It might feel like the world is unfair when a narcissist gets away with their schemes. But remember this, every lie carries a weight. Every deceit adds pressure. And sooner or later, the dam breaks. The truth emerges not because someone forces it, but because it's the natural law of the universe. Truth isn't just an idea, it's a force. Think about a time when someone tried to deceive you. It hurt, didn't it? It left you questioning everything. But wasn't there a moment when the truth revealed itself? That moment wasn't luck, it was the universe doing its work. Truth is relentless. It doesn't need permission to show up, it just does. The problem with lies is they need constant maintenance. Narcissists are always running from their past, running from exposure, running from themselves. But you can't outrun reality. They might fool some people for a while, but they can't fool everyone forever. When you're on the receiving end of a narcissist's web of lies, the temptation is to fight back, to expose them yourself. But here's the truth: you don't need to. You don't have to stoop to their level. The truth will emerge on its own. Your job isn't to battle, it's to stand firm in who you are. Truth has a way of showing up in the most unexpected places. It could be a slip of the tongue, an undeniable fact, or a moment when their mask falls off. And when it happens, it's not just liberating for you, it's devastating for them. Narcissists hate being exposed. Their entire identity depends on control. And when truth shines its light, that control crumbles. But don't celebrate their downfall, instead celebrate your freedom. Truth isn't about revenge, it's about release. You don't need to force truth, you need to align with it. Live authentically, speak your truth, and trust that what's hidden will eventually come to light. The beauty of truth is that it doesn't need help. It's already powerful enough on its own. Remember, every lie a narcissist tells is a seed planted in rocky soil. It might grow for a moment, but it can't survive. Lies lack the foundation to endure. Truth. Truth has roots that dig deep. Truth is eternal. And when the truth finally surfaces, it does something incredible. It frees you. It gives you the power to move forward, to let go, to reclaim your energy. Truth doesn't just expose the narcissist, it elevates you. So what do you do in the meantime? You stay patient, you focus on your growth, you remind yourself every day that truth is working in the background, even when you can't see it. Trust the process, because the process works. Truth is not something you chase, it's something you live. And when you live in alignment with truth, you become unshakable. The narcissist's lies may cause temporary chaos, but your foundation remains firm. So let the truth do its work. Let it flow, let it rise, let it shine. You don't have to fight the darkness, you just have to let the light in. And that light, it's unstoppable. Humility is a divine law. Pride is a dangerous thing. It whispers lies into our ears, telling us we're better, smarter, or more important than others. And narcissists, they don't just listen to that voice, they amplify it. But here's the deal: pride is like a balloon. The bigger it gets, the closer it is to popping. Narcissists build their lives on a foundation of false pride. They think they're untouchable, invincible. They look down on others, believing that their value comes from dominance. But that's not how life works. The higher they climb on their pedestal, the harder the fall. Why does pride lead to destruction? Because it blinds people. It makes them arrogant. They stop listening, stop learning, stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start decaying. Life rewards humility, not hubris. Think about the people who inspire you most. Are they boastful? Are they consumed by their own importance? No, they're grounded, they're real, they know their worth, but they don't need to prove it. That's what humility looks like. God has a way of balancing the scales. Prideful people might rise for a moment, but their success is temporary. Life will humble them. It might be through failure, loss, or the realization that they're not as powerful as they thought. For narcissists, humility is their kryptonite. They avoid it at all costs because it threatens their entire identity. But here's the irony: the more they resist humility, the more it finds them. Life has a way of teaching lessons we can't escape. When a narcissist is humbled, it's not just a lesson for them, it's a lesson for everyone around them. It's a reminder that no one is above accountability. It's proof that character matters more than charisma. You might wonder, why does it take so long for some people to be humbled? The answer is simple: timing. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Life's lessons come when they're meant to, not when we demand them. Humility is not a punishment, it's a gift. It's an opportunity to see ourselves clearly, to grow, to reconnect with what truly matters. Narcissists fight it because they fear it, but in reality, it's their only path to real transformation. And here's the beautiful part: when you embrace humility, you become unstoppable. Why? Because you're not chained by ego. You're free to learn, adapt, and evolve. Narcissists miss out on that freedom because they're too busy protecting their image. When life humbles a narcissist, it's not always obvious at first. It might look like a small setback or an unexpected challenge. But over time, the cracks begin to show. Their pride can't sustain them. So what do you do when you see a narcissist's downfall? You don't gloat, you don't glate. You don't get pulled into their chaos. You focus on your own growth. Humility isn't about celebrating someone else's failure, it's about rising above the noise. Life rewards the humble. It opens doors, builds connections, and creates opportunities. The narcissist might have their moment, but humility ensures you have a lifetime of fulfillment. Stay grounded, stay real, and watch how life unfolds. Because in the end, humility isn't just a law, it's the secret to lasting success. Justice is inevitable. Let's talk about justice, because if you've ever been on the receiving end of a narcissist's games, you've probably wondered, when is enough going to be enough? You've seen them manipulate, hurt, and climb over others without remorse. But here's the truth you need to hear today. Justice may not come when you want it, but it always comes. The narcissist lives in a world where they think they're untouchable. They believe their charm, lies, and cunning strategies will shield them forever. But the universe doesn't work that way. You see, there's a law of balance, a divine principle that ensures what you give out, you get back. The narcissist is sowing seeds every day. Seeds of manipulation, deceit, and exploitation. And while it might look like they're winning right now, those seeds don't produce fruit worth keeping. Instead, they grow into consequences they can't avoid. Let's be honest, though, waiting for justice is hard. Watching someone walk away from their wrongs while you're left to pick up the pieces, that can shake your faith. But trust me, you don't need to keep your eyes on them. Justice isn't about you tracking their downfall. It's about life taking care of the imbalance. Justice doesn't always look like a courtroom or a public humiliation. Sometimes it's quieter. It shows up as lost opportunities, broken relationships, or the weight of their own emptiness. Narcissists might seem powerful, but their victories are hollow. Their success comes at a cost, and that cost is peace. When you focus on your path, you're already one step ahead. While the narcissist is busy spinning their web, you're building something real. And when justice finally comes knocking on their door, you won't need to lift a finger. Life has a way of holding people accountable. Do you know what makes justice inevitable? It's the fact that narcissists can't escape themselves. They're trapped in their own patterns, repeating the same behaviors that will eventually destroy them. They're their own worst enemy. You might not see it today, but trust me, the seeds of justice are already growing. Every act of manipulation, every lie, every betrayal, they all add weight to their eventual downfall. Justice is patient, but it is certain. Think about this. How much energy are you giving to watching their downfall? What if you redirected that energy toward your healing, your growth, and your purpose? That's where your power lies. Justice isn't your job, it's life's job. The beauty of justice is that it teaches lessons to everyone involved. It shows the narcissist that their actions have consequences, and it reminds you that you are protected. You don't need to fight the battles that life has already won for you. Justice doesn't seek revenge, it seeks balance, it restores what was lost. And when you let go of the need to control the outcome, you create space for something incredible: freedom. You free yourself from their grip and step into the life you were meant to live. When you trust in the process of justice, you align yourself with something bigger. You're no longer reacting to the narcissist, you're creating your future. And in that future, they have no power over you. So let justice do its work. It's already in motion. Focus on what you can control and let the rest unfold as it should. Because justice isn't just inevitable, it's transformative. Protection for the innocent. Let me tell you something powerful: you are not alone. Even when it feels like the narcissist has all the control, all the power, and all the influence, there's a force working behind the scenes to protect you. It's easy to feel vulnerable when you're dealing with someone who thrives on manipulation. Narcissists are masters at making you feel isolated, like there's no way out. But here's the truth: protection doesn't always look the way you expect it to. Sometimes protection shows up as clarity. It's that moment when the blinders come off and you see the narcissist for who they really are. That's not just luck, that's divine intervention giving you the insight to make a change. Other times, protection comes in the form of people. Maybe it's a friend who stands by you, a mentor who guides you, or even a stranger who shows up at just the right time. These aren't coincidences, they're reminders that you're never truly alone. Have you ever noticed how certain opportunities just fall apart when you're connected to a toxic person? That's not failure, it's protection. Sometimes doors close because they're not meant for you, or because walking through them would keep you stuck in the narcissist cycle. You might not see it right now, but every challenge you've faced has made you stronger. Every obstacle has prepared you for what's next. That's the kind of protection that lasts. It builds resilience, clarity, and wisdom. The narcissist's greatest weapon is control. They want you to feel powerless, dependent, and small. But when you step back and recognize the ways you've been protected emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you start to reclaim your power. Protection doesn't mean you won't face hardship. It doesn't mean you won't feel pain. But it does mean you have what it takes to overcome. You are stronger than you think, and you have access to strength that's greater than your own. One of the most powerful forms of protection is distance. Maybe you've lost touch with someone or circumstances have separated you from the narcissist. That's not an accident. That's grace creating space for you to heal. When you trust in the protection that's guiding you, you stop feeling the need to control everything. You realize that you're not fighting this battle alone. There's a plan in place, even if you can't see all the details yet. Protection also comes through lessons. Every time the narcissist tries to tear you down, you learn something valuable. You learn how to set boundaries, how to recognize red flags, and how to prioritize your well-being. The key is to shift your focus. Stop looking at what the narcissist is doing and start noticing the ways you've been shielded. Start seeing the ways life has redirected you, spared you, and positioned you for something greater. You are not weak because you've been hurt. You are powerful because you've survived. And the protection you've received isn't just for survival, it's for growth. It's for thriving. Trust in the protection that's guiding your life. It's there, it's real, and it's leading you to something better. Keep moving forward. You've got this. Pain becomes power. Let me tell you something about pain that's universal. Everyone experiences it, but what separates the strong from the weak isn't whether or not they face pain, it's what they do with it. And you, my friend, have a choice. You can let your pain define you, or you can let it refine you. When a narcissist hurts you, it feels personal. They have a way of cutting deep, making you question your worth, your sanity, and even your purpose. But here's the truth, their actions say more about them than they do about you. Your pain is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your transformation. Think of pain as raw energy. At first, it's overwhelming, chaotic, and all-consuming. But when you harness that energy, it becomes fuel. It pushes you forward, it builds resilience, and it reminds you of the strength you never knew you had. You see, narcissists expect their victims to crumble. They thrive on the belief that their words and actions will destroy you. But what they don't realize is that every time they knock you down, you're building a foundation. A foundation of grit, determination, and inner strength. The hardest part of pain is facing it. It's easy to numb, avoid, or distract yourself from it. But true power comes when you lean into your pain. When you ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can this make me better? That's when the magic happens. Here's the truth, most people don't realize pain is a teacher. It teaches you what you deserve, what you value, and what you're capable of. It teaches you to set boundaries, to stand up for yourself, and to never settle for less than your worth. When you start to see pain as a gift, everything changes. It doesn't mean you enjoy it or seek it out. It means you recognize its purpose. Pain isn't meant to break you, it's meant to shape you. And when you embrace that truth, you step into a level of power that no narcissist can take away. Think of the greatest leaders, creators, and visionaries throughout history. Do you think they lived pain-free lives? Absolutely not. What made them extraordinary wasn't the absence of pain, it was their ability to turn pain into purpose. And you have that same ability. The narcissist might think they've won when they hurt you, but they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see the strength you're gaining, the lessons you're learning, and the transformation that's happening inside you. What they meant for harm, life is using for your good. Your pain is not a weakness. It's a signal that you're alive, that you're growing, that you're evolving. It's a reminder that you care deeply, that you're human, and that you have the capacity to heal and rise. The next time you feel the weight of your pain, remember this: you've already survived your hardest days. You've already overcome challenges that once felt impossible. And every time you rise, you prove that pain doesn't own you, you own it. When you take ownership of your pain, you take ownership of your life. You stop waiting for someone else to fix you or save you. You become your own hero. And in doing so, you become unstoppable. Pain is temporary, but the power it gives you is eternal. So let it shape you, let it guide you. And most importantly, let it remind you of the incredible strength that lies within you. 6, boundaries are essential. Let me ask you something. How many times have you let someone cross the line because you didn't want to seem rude, How many times have you sacrificed your peace to keep the peace? That stops today. Because if there's one thing you need to learn from dealing with a narcissist, it's this: boundaries are not optional or essential. Narcissists hate boundaries. Why? Because boundaries are limits, and limits mean they can't control you. The moment you set a boundary, you take back your power. And let me tell you something that's the last thing a narcissist wants. But here's the thing about boundaries: they're not about the narcissist, they're about you. They're about protecting your energy, your peace, and your sense of self. They're not a punishment, they're an act of self-love.